Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ali bin Zainuddin. My matrix number is 077224. I am from group 9. So today we will present to you about malware response and mitigation strategies. So before we start, this is our group members, which is we have 6 group members here. So moving on, we will start with our first topic, which is introduction. As the technology rapidly advances, the threats that come with it also evolve. One of the most dangerous is being the malware. While software is designed to assist users, malware, short for malicious software, exists to harm systems by stealing data, corrupting files, or causing disruptions. As the internet becomes the core of daily life, malware evolves alongside it. It constantly adapting to bypass modern defense. A major example is the 2019 North Hydro attack, where a single infected email led to severe disruption across 170 plants in 40 countries. This case shows that no system is ever completely safe, and attackers will always find new ways to strike. Although malware comes in many forms and can be highly targeted, there are still practices and solutions that can reduce the risk and impact of such attacks. We will go next.
What is the virus? The virus is a type of a malicious software that attached to a normal program or any file. And how the spreads? How the virus spread? Okay, the virus can spread when you remove any USB, such as the pen drive, and it can affect the email attachment or download any apps. Also remove the USB, such as the pen drive. Okay, and virus also can spread by abandoning itself in any software or any document in that device. Okay, what the characteristic of the virus? Okay, the virus it can activate and can spread by themselves, and it can also modify, delete or corrupt any data or any file in the system or in the device. And also the virus also often hide seemingly harmless files. Okay, what happens when the virus incoming into the system? First of all, as we know, the virus can make any data or any file and make them corrupt and make the performance of the device of the system slow down, and it can also disable the system function and crash an application. Okay, the definition of the worm is one type of a malware that copy by itself and spread to the other computer or other device, and the worm is usually spread via their network, and it comes through from the network connection by the email or any software vulnerabilities, and they do not need to attach to go inside a host file. Okay, what the characteristic of the worm? Worm can self-replicating without any user intervention, and it can take advantage of flaws in software or the network protocol, and it also consume the bandwidth and system resources. And worm can spread by the network, and because of that, it can make a potential impact by the network failure or congestion, and they also spread additional malware payloads, and the system can be instability or happen data thief, and any corruption can happen in the network. Trojan horse is a type of malware that disguises as legitimate software and can trick user into the installing it. So how it spreads? The Trojan horse it can spread from the pirate software or any bundle with free, and it can happen from you downloading any type of software or application via unstructured sources and phishing any email. So the characteristic of this malware, the Trojan horse does not make any duplicate by itself, but it often open from a backdoor to the remote access. So by the remote access, it can steal any data or monitor or activity and install additional malware in your device or any system. And because of their own characteristic, it can make a potential impact of their can be the system damage or any hijacking by the hacking hijack the system, and they can also steal the sensitive data, and the system can also be unauthorized. Ransomware is one of the type of the virus that encrypted file or locks the system and demands a ransom or payment to restore any access. So ransomware is spread through a malicious website or phishing email, also the software vulnerability, and ransomware also can spread literally across by a network. Okay, the characteristic of this ransomware is encrypts the files or restrict system access. Then they can also make a display of a ransom message with the payment instruction. So ransomware also can be done by including a countdown timer in your system or any device. So ransomware can make sure the potential impact by the losing of access to the critical data, and it can also impact the financial with the loss if the ransom is paid, and it can be downtime as well as reputational damage. The spyware is a malicious software that enters a user's computer or user device and gather the data from the device and the user and sends to the third party without their consent or any permission by the user. Okay, the spyware is spread by they can go through the software downloader and malicious ads and phishing campaigns, and it can also exploit the browser and software vulnerabilities. So the characteristic of this malware can operate in their background, and it can make a tracking of a user activity such as keystroke, website visits, and the credential, and they are also often the bundle with the freeware or shareware. Okay, the potential impact of this malware can happen to the performance of the system. So the system can be slowed down and can be damaged. So it can be compromised to personal or financial data. So this malware also can identify the thief in your system or any system.
Now I will be sharing the story of the 2019 cyber attack on the North Hydro. In March 2019, North Hydro was hit by a severe ransomware attack that disrupted operation across 170 plants in 14 countries. The incident impact around 35,000 employees and cost an estimate $71 million in financial losses. But this attack wasn't just about money, but it is exposed serious weaknesses in IT infrastructure and risk employee safety. The breach began with a simple phishing email. It came from what appeared to be a trusted customer, but the sender's account had been compromised and employee unknowingly opened a malicious attachment which installed Trojan software on their computer. This gave the attacker a foothold inside North Hydro IT environment. From there, the attacker moved slowly and strategically. They escalate their privilege, capture administrative credential, and navigate literally through the network. Eventually, they gain access to the company's domain controller, which is the most powerful system in the network, and use them to manually deploy ransomware. The malware known as local Goga encrypted critical files across the organization, locking out users and effectively shutting down automated system. The operational impact was massive. Many plants had to either halt production or shift to manual processes using pen and paper. With digital system offline, even basic communication became difficult. Workers in heavy industrial environment were now operating without digital safety control, introducing real risk to both personnel and environment. This was no longer just a technical issue. It had become a full-scale business and safety crisis. One of the reasons the attack spread so effectively was due to weak network segmentation. Once the attacker breached the system, they were able to move across internal network without much resistance. Despite the chaos, North Hydro made a bold decision. They refused to pay the ransom. Instead, the company respond with transparency and determination. They issue daily updates to the public, inform stakeholders openly, and work with cybersecurity experts, including Microsoft Detection and Response Team or DAT, to recover system right away. This approach earned them widespread respect rather than hide the breach or take shortcut. North Hydro chose resilience over quick fixes. Their response became a case study in cyber crisis management. Now let's take a look at vulnerabilities exploited. The North Hydro cyber attack highlights several critical vulnerabilities, beginning with human error. The initial breach occurred when an employee unknowingly opened a malicious email attachment sent from compromised trusted contact. This simple action installed Trojan software, giving attackers a foothold in the company IT system. Unfortunately, detection was delayed, allowing the attackers time to establish resistance within the network. They gradually escalate privilege and move laterally across system. One of the key technical shortcomings was weak network segmentation, which enabled the attackers to navigate the infrastructure freely and ultimately deploy ransomware from the domain controller. This combination of human error, slow detection, and inefficient network barriers made the organization especially vulnerable and amplified the scale of the attack.
First, employee cybersecurity awareness training. North Hydro trained their staff using simulated phishing email to teach them how to spot a malicious attachment or fake login page. Second point is backup and recovery plans. The company did not pay the ransom because it had reliable data backup in place, And the third point is security culture and investment. Hydro IT departments work proactively to strengthen security measures across the infrastructure. Next, let's talk about detection. There is a few ways to do a detection. For example, the first point is early warning signs. For example, the malware was planned a month before the actual attack, but the initial Trojan was detected by antivirus software a day after the phishing emails were opened. The second way is Microsoft Dart enforcement. Hydro quickly engage Microsoft detection and response teams, which is specialists in identifying and analyzing active threat. Last but not least, the way can use for detection is forensic investigation. For example, the internal and external cybersecurity team trace the breach back to December 2018 and identify how administrative credentials were stolen. Now, let's move on to the containment. They have a few ways to do containment, such as we can immediate network shutdown. Because as soon as the attack was suspect, IT shut down Nodes Hydro network and the server to prevent further spread. Second, we can use on-site and remote recovery teams, such as the Microsoft and Hydro create regional recovery team to rebuild and secure their system one by one. Last but not least, we can use manual operation and isolation. For example, factory switch to manual process to keep operation still going while the system will be restored.
First, let's talk about eradication. Once the attack was suspected, the IT team took fast action by shutting down all servers and network. This helped to prevent the ransomware from spreading to other systems. Next, they disconnected infected computers from the network, so the damage could be contained. After that, they successfully removed the ransomware and took back control of the domain controllers to stop the attackers from manually deploying more malware. This shows how fast action and network isolation can stop things from getting worse. Next is recovery. To recover their system, North Hydro didn't pay the ransom. Instead, they used backup data to restore everything. This was possible because they already had strong backup system in place. While systems were being fixed, the factory switched to manual operation, which is using pen and paper, to keep production going. Even retired workers who were familiar with the old manual system came back to help. This really showed teamwork and smart planning during a crisis. Last is communication. Communication was one of the most prized parts of North Hydro response. The executive did daily webcasts and press conference to keep the public updated. Inside the company, they sent handwritten warning messages through images to all global sites, which were printed and displayed clearly at every facility. They also give frequent updates on social media and even launched a new website to handle communication during the crisis. This open and honest communication helped to maintain public trust and gave a strong example for other companies.
At the end of the day, awareness of malware and how to fight it is absolutely essential in today's digital world. In this assignment, we explore 5 major types of malware: viruses, worms, Trojan horse, ransomware, and spyware, and learn how they each behave differently, how they spread, and the damage they can cause to systems and data. One powerful example we look at was the North Hydro ransomware attack. It showed just how serious this threat can be, causing disruption data loss, and financial damage. But Norsk Hydro also showed us what strong response looked like. They didn't pay the ransom. Instead, they used backup, act quickly, and communicate openly with the public. That transparency and resilience become a model for how organizations can handle the cyber attack. From this case, one key takeaway is that being prepared really does make all the difference. A strong response plan includes employee training, regular system update, real-time threat detection, isolation infected network, truly removing threat, and recovering system with clean backup. And just as important, keeping stakeholders' information build trust. Ultimately, effective malware defense comes down to preparation, speed, and creating a culture of security. By learning from real-world examples and using layered protection strategy, organizations can reduce their risk and response more effectively when threats arise. This assignment gave us not greater sight into malware threat but also a clearer picture of what true cybersecurity readiness looks like. It reminds us that staying secure is a team effort built on collaboration, transparency, and continuous improvement.